Sessions at Sunrise, a way to begin every morning. Most mornings, I'm up to see the sun. I'm used to thinking and feeling in words. Living in words, my world is living and the world is living me. I wonder what will animate me today or what will go away. I find myself in the realm of a hope dealer. I have no suit to put on, just learning to be me, not fancy, just a lot clearer. Am I doing all I can to preserve great leaders? Am I doing all I can to bring great parents to children and great leaders to organizations? I ask the emerging sunrise to release me from shunning the mystery. The world does not have to be beautiful to work, but it is. So let's meet it where it is, pay close attention to things, and see possibility. Welcome to Sessions at Sunrise.
Fear. Fear has a way of causing us to contract. Fear is a thought that burglarizes our liberation to trust us, to trust the universe, to trust that everything will be okay. Because fear says something is around the corner that might not play out well. It might be dangerous. We're going to get hurt. So with that warning, we say, well, here's what I should do. And of course, there's situations where we need to really sense things objectively that are dangerous. And we need to make adjustments and make good decisions because there are real dangers. There are real things that can hurt us. But most often, the fear that we encounter is not real. It's false. It's a shadow. It's a phantom. And then we sort of box at the phantom. We shadow box. And then we end up somewhere that we do not want. And we focus all of our energy on eliminating something unwanted, avoided. We avoid humiliation. We avoid isolation. We avoid failure. We avoid looking bad. We avoid pain. And these things, they generate urgency. They generate our sense of, I don't want to look at it. I don't want to make contact with it. I want to shut down. I want to withdraw. I want to back up. And yet, we have all of these urges, dynamic, passionate, loving, generative urges to create what really, really matters. We have a huge heart. And we care a lot about things. We care a lot about our values. We care a lot about people. We care a lot about ideas. We care a lot about dreams. And we have a choice to make as to whether we want to dominate our attention by that or we want to feed something else. And I think it's very powerful to remember how faith fits into all this. Faith in the mystery, faith in what's around the corner, faith. And I often say to myself that if I am true to my faith in the uncertainty, the faith in the pure possibilities, the faith in not knowing quite how something at the edge of life is going to play out, faith in my own powerlessness, the profound humility of that faith, what is there to be afraid of? I can't predict the future. There's no room for optimism or positive thinking. I can only authenticate what I teach myself to be true. And what's true to me is something I can trust or I can push against it. I can add meanings and interpretations, and I can kind of see what it all means, and then I make up something about it. And the point is, if I make a story about it and then I turn into fear-based motivation, this is very different than creating upon something I really care about. All my life, there have been signs and signals of an invisible hand, a catalyst, always being there. And the voice that was deep down, early on, I remember sitting in a class with a number of other business people in my early 20s, and I remember hearing a really deep voice say, it's about other people. It's about helping them shine. And I didn't quite know how to make out what that voice meant. I didn't know whether to step into that voice, trust that voice. But I couldn't not do it, because other confirmations came. And the more that I found myself focusing on helping and serving and feeding and understanding, and not to the point where I was betraying myself to the degree to which I was generous to others, I realized that I didn't need to hide anymore an unwanted belief that I was not trustworthy, that I was not worth loving, that I didn't need to bring that concept into my attention. I didn't need to organize around that. I didn't need to demonstrate to people how good I was or holy I was. And I realized how phony that is. And I really got how true it was, how badly I really wanted to belong. And yet, I realized that everything was going to be okay anyway. And it seemed like if I took a step in the direction of trusting that the ground would be solid, that things would be there, that life would provide things that I needed in food and clothing and security, as I stayed in service, as I stayed in just giving value for the joy of it, I've never lost on that. I've never found myself forsaken by that invisible hand. I think I pretend to understand it, but I know it by what it has shown up with. So if I made babies and parented, it was always there. Everything played out well. It was okay. I didn't know how to create a business. I learned by creating one and just stayed in service and followed my heart. And it was there. And then I remember several years ago walking in a little town in Mexico called Dolores Hidalgo. And I was in a courtyard, and it was one of those moments where something just strikes you. It's like, something behind your back. You have to look at it. It almost pinches you. And I turned around and I looked at this announcement that was on the side of this building. And it was a scripture. And it said something like, "If you trust me, I will feed you, and I will provide for you all the support that you need. No worries. If you trust me, if you trust me, if you trust me." And there it was. The trust in what I am, the trust in who I am, the trust in what I have in me, the trust in my basic goodness, my innate desire to be kind, to serve, to help. Those are the moments when I have felt happiest in my life. So I realized that the whole idea is to do it anyway. And to do it anyway because I choose to. And that everything the future needs is being given to me in this moment. And I choose to trust that. And that brings me into a relaxed attention, a quality of being present, that I can participate in my life with a partial understanding of maybe what the future will probably be, but a more profound humility in not knowing, and coming to that place in my life where the confidence is in the honesty of that. And that honesty is the directness into the faith conversation with life, of taking meaningful leaps into uncertainty, and then through those leaps, anything volatile, anything complex, confusing, all of the ambiguity seems to move from muddy water into stillness, into clarity, through action, to know the path by walking. And that walk is like walking on the wings of the universe as a helpful hand of trust in setting an intention. And as I do, providence moves. Is that as you set yourself into your heart's intentions, and you truly go out like trusting your instruments, flying at night, trusting your instruments in bad weather, there's something that comes for you. And it's something so magical that It's always there. And so you do it anyway. And as you walk, you step down and the ground will hold you there, because what you're doing is good. There are no guarantees that it'll work. All there is faith in knowing that it's just right and that you cannot not do this. It's a sacred project. And you go out with all you are, with all of your conviction, and you must do it anyway. So this morning, in my session at sunrise, this poem became very obvious to me as I broke down into tears in such a gratefulness as I wrote this. And it's called Do It Anyway. I call it a trust poem. Do it anyway. I just kept going, and he was there. I made babies and didn't know how to parent them, and he was there. I parented and showed up. I helped people. I gave up the future, and he was there. Everything grew, and eventually everything came about, and he was there again. I asked for help, and he was there. And all I had to do was stay true to my heart and follow it through. Feed others, serve others, give all you are, he told me. And he said, all he said was just keep going with this basis of being there. You walk on my wings, he told me. Tomorrow you will awaken. Keep trusting me and I will feed you and I will nurture you. Do not forsake me. Just do it anyway. Everything is going to be okay, he said. I will give you what the future needs right this moment. Don't question it. Just participate. Just keep going. Show up. Do it anyway. With faith, nothing is left out, he said. And right now is beneath my step this quality. The ground is there wherever I step. I am meant to be good. I am meant to serve. And to this I rest my fear. I rest my attention on the present, and let all that emerges flow through me. With soft hands, I come forth, leaning into the change, doing it anyway. Doing it anyway. You don't have all the answers. You will never know how you know what you know. Don't marry your identity to what you know. Don't marry your identity to what you have. Don't marry your identity to what you do. Don't marry your identity to what others think. Just show up. Do it anyway. Don't be a somebody. Enter from nothing. And listen. And when you're absent of all this stuff, of all the other stuff, you know, the thoughts, the fears, then everything that's waiting for you will enter. And the meeting of you and that wisdom, in that sweet combination between what is coming forth, that latency in you, to know what you already know, to be revealed what you already have in you, to give. You give all that you've been given. And if you do this, if you do it anyway, everything will be okay. Because at the end of it all, what's there to be keeping? You're going to die anyway. So you might as well play all your music. Thank you.